mini-series, I'm going to show you how you can plan and achieve everything you want to do, whether it just be doing jobs around the home, sorting, tidying, decluttering, learning a language, finding time to exercise, and so much more. Even small steps to reach your dream. Now I'm going to show you many different concepts of this, so do stay tuned. It will probably end up being a whole mini series because I have so many different aspects, and it's very important, such as when you learn, to know that you also plan in many different ways. So what might work well for one person may not work so well for another. And I'm going to show you first of all how to do basic planning, and I'm going to show you how to find time to do all that you want to do. We all have 24 hours in a day, but it's how you can use this time wisely. And also it will show you how you can find extra time that you didn't know existed, not just a case of getting up early or going to bed later. So stay tuned for that as well. And I'm going to show you, as I say, some basic plan ideas first. I'm going to show you how you can find that extra time, but I'm also going to show you many ways of planning without continually using paper and pens, and many different ways of that. So without further ado, let's start with some very basic planning first on paper. So of course one way is to get yourself a weekly planner or a diary. And in here they're normally set something like this, where you have different days. You can get ones with subjects and different columns for different things, but of course you can create your own as well. This one also has to do and notes on the top. And something this size is a good idea because you can actually fold it back and stand it up on your desk or a very set place that you will always see. And be sure to cross off things if this is the method that you choose to do. And I always say I use plenty of highlighters and different colour pens. Maybe if you've got a very big schedule, you can use one colour for your exercise, one colour for events and things you need to do for work, and maybe a colour for other things you want to do in your life. First, let's do what you're probably most interested in. How do you find that extra time? Well, to find the basic time that you have free, write down all the times of a day. So you could do half hours, 15 minutes. So you put, for example, 9 a.m, 9:15, 9:30, and so on and so forth. Do it for every single day of the week, and then write next to it anything you are compelled to do, any commitments you have to do, such as going to work, picking the children up, and whatever else you are committed to doing. You may also see then you have lots of 10-minute gaps. Maybe you wait in the car to pick your children up. So don't put the time that you go to pick them up. Do the difference between arriving to pick them up and then see any spare time where of course you can do things such as learning a language in that time. Now, for example, here I have written down that I wanted to do dance, 1 hour of Greek on a Monday, another session of 2 hours Greek on a Monday, another 3-hour session. Now, if you don't have so much spare time and that's an aim you want to do on just say one day, I've already told you lots of 5 or 10 minute gaps can make a big difference, so just record how much time you use. But you can also do 2 things at once. So for example, the 1 hour of Greek on a Monday, it might have just been that I was just learning vocab, so I could have been doing that at the same time of stretching and doing exercise. So instead of putting music on, you can either just be, while you're doing floor work, have some words in front of you and you keep going through them in your head, or you might even play a language CD or YouTube or something like this. So this is how I could achieve all this in 1 week with not the time you would think I had. I mean, 6 hours free on a Friday. Well, for me, that meant getting up 2 hours earlier and doing stuff in the evening when I would have maybe just been watching TV instead. So find the time you actually do have spare. As I say, we all have 24 hours in a day. Now, for me, at the point of this book that I'm showing you, this planner, I was very interested in exercising and learning Greek specifically. And this was done in September. It said there was 30 days in September. And I worked out that during that week, as I showed you I'd planned, it was only 3 hours of stretching and 6 hours of dance per week, which sounds a lot, but if you take that in 10 minutes or 15-minute episodes, that's not too bad. This was doable. Vocab 6 hours per week and revise for 1 hour a week, and doing the rest of the Greek 12 hours a week in total and going to work. That I worked out in this September, in 1 week, I had stretched for 14 hours, danced for 24 hours, did Greek vocab for 30 hours, and the rest of the Greek 50 hours. And that's how I managed to do all my Greek exams to a high level. So work out what you want to do. As I say, fill in all the spaces of that free time you've got and see where you get to first for that. Then you can define it even more. So I'm just using my examples, but you can use it as declutter a room. You could break that down as declutter 1 drawer. You can use it for housework, decorating, anything that you want to do. So I'm just using my examples here. I narrowed this one down. So this says January. I did 8:30 to 9 Greek vocab. I had to work 9:30 to 11. I did file work in the afternoon, 3 till 4, verbs 4 to 4:30, flashcards 4:30 to 5. Now these kind of things here, obviously you may get bored with doing the same repetitive thing. So now I'm going to show you another way that I take Greek language as an example, but as I say, turn it to whatever you want. I'll show you a way that I made it another time fun, that I could do whatever I felt like to learn Greek, but I would still cover every element. For example, if you're learning a language, but as I say, turn it into whatever you want to do, I put down every concept of learning Greek that I felt I had to do, whether it be listening, spelling, writing, just doing random reading, verbs, grammar, etc. So I wrote all those concepts in these circles. Now some of them you won't know quite what they are, but that's what you need to do. And vary it up. Sometimes go on YouTube or whatever and find something that takes you out your comfort zone. And then I had these underneath. Now, of course, what you can do is say Monday, I do those things, Tuesday, those things, Wednesday, those things. But the idea also of this chart is to mix it up. And you could basically say it's Monday today, I'm going to do Greek, block off Monday, and I had little circles I made. So you can use these to block off. And I would decide I had, let's say, 5 different segments of time for example, then you would make 5 circles if you were just doing 5 things on Monday. But to mix it up, what you can do is cover Monday where it's Monday, and let's say you say, I've got time for 3 segments of doing something. So to mix it up, you can say, right, I'm going to do one of these things, and you've got choice, and just things like read, where you could pick up anything in your chosen language to read. A game, you can play games. You might have some apps where you can play games, so pick a game. So let's say for Monday I said I had 3 separate times of free time, then I would pick 3 things, and as I do one, cover it over with a circle. So Tuesday you have 3 less things because 3 things are now covered, and you do it for Tuesday. You say I have, let's say, 4 times of the day that I can do something. So now we pick 4 things, do one of them, put a circle over it, do another, put a circle over it, and so on and so forth, so you don't get lost. And that way, every time you get to a day, then you cover up what things you have chosen to do that day. But of course, some things are now covered, so that makes you do the things you haven't got round for doing. And particularly learning a language, you are going to cover every aspect of learning the language. And of course, if you're on a really good roll, you might do more on a Monday than you were going to do. You might cover up a whole line. Well, that means you could have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So if you're someone who doesn't like to follow a timetable or gets bored easily, then this is a good way to work. So let's look at this as a similar concept as in for exercise. Now, of course, you can make these any words you like, what suits you. Now, you could also add the amount of time that you're going to do these in the circles or not. So for exercise, let's look what we've got. We've got stretch, balance and flexibility. Now, of course, these things can be exercise. It could be off of something like YouTube and so on and so forth. And you can vary what you do. You might want to do a fun one for flexibility and balance. So, for example, balance, you might set yourself a little obstacle course out. So make them varied, even though you've got a theme. Exercise band and ribbon. These are gymnastic dance ribbons, and that makes you use your arms and coordination. Arms, so any arm exercises. Waist and stomach. Legs, again you could make that any form of exercise for the legs. Aerobics and stamina. Could be skipping. Online exercises, this is what I was saying, just suddenly put a random exercise program on from YouTube or something. Mix, now this you can either just pick anything you like, or you could do a little bit of a couple of things. Hoop, props and cheerleading, so grab yourself anything you can find. You could do pom-poms, you can make your own, you can do some weightlifting with like tin cans. Step up, now if you don't have a step as in a box you can step up and down on and do different routines, you can just go up and down your stairs if you have stairs in your house. Bar work, so these are kind of ballet exercises or stretches, putting your leg up on a bar. Again, you can use your back of your sofa or something similar. Don't use something like a dining chair, because if you lean on it and your legs are up on the back of it, it will topple. Standing exercises, so again, any exercises from standing positions. Mat work, so obviously this is floor work exercises. Bike, now you could have an exercise bike, or you could ride your bike and go off on your bike, or indeed most countries you can hire bikes now. If not, you can even go in a swimming pool, hold a float and go around the swimming pool like you're cycling. Walk, well, that tells it all. If you're somebody who only has 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do an exercise, then of course if you go to work, get off the bus or train one stop prior, that's your walk for the day, or take the stairs instead of the escalator or lift. Climbing, now you can have fun with this. You can just go for a walk and go somewhere where it's uphill, or you can do actual climbing. Swim, that's self-explanatory, but of course you can exercise, do water aerobics in your swimming pool. Another mix there. Jobs, now this is like jobs around the house, cleaning, because you're going to be doing a good workout by doing different jobs. Gardening, the same thing. If you don't have a garden, see if someone else has a garden, they would let you help them, or allotment. Now these here are different forms of dance, so just having fun with these bottom ones. Freestyle dance, that means just put some music on and dance around for an hour or so. Have a party, anything like that would do. Belly dance, I do have videos on my dance channel on all these for beginners, all these subjects, so I will put that as a link below my dance channel. And I do tutorials. Start with the very first one of each one, so you get things in an order. Ballet, tap, ballroom Latin, disco or anything similar to that, any freestyle, and street dancing. So that's just giving you a different idea how you can make this for a different subject. As I said, you could do jobs around the house. You could actually make this whole list as in jobs to do, and you could put clear out a drawer, empty 2 shelves of a cupboard, that kind of thing. So go through old paperwork. And talking of paperwork, let me show you ways you can also do charts without paper. Remember, you can use this for any form of planning, whether it's one specific task or doing things towards your goal of your dream job or your dream life.